All right, you guys. So we're starting just a few minutes behind because I had two calls called almost the exact same thing in my Zoom. And then I sent out a mass email blast to people with the wrong Zoom link. So I apologize to anybody that was like, what is going on here right now? So that's what happens when you have too many things in your brain and you are trying to homeschool and your child is currently playing the recorder in the basement. That is happening right now. I can hear them. So this is life. You guys, we're so excited to have you here to our informational coaching session tonight. And we're honestly we're going to share our heart. We are going to share what this Beachbody coaching opportunity has done for us. You're going to hear from some incredible women and very different stories. And so before we kick it off tonight, do us a favor and will you just introduce yourself in the comments below? Tell us where you're from. Tell us who invited you here. If you are currently using a Beachbody product, what's your favorite Beachbody program that you've done? So let's kind of get our chat bar rolling. I want to hear from you guys. I always love to kind of hear where people are tuning in from, and we are gonna go for it. All right. Okay, I always see lots of names. Hi, Amber. Betsy, Bobby. Hi, guys. Good to see you guys. All right. Okay. Callie Williams. Oh, you're in Pittsburgh. Hi there. Spokane, Washington. Hey there, Heather. Excited to see you. Florida. Jealous of your warm Florida weather. It is like 37 degrees I'm in Pittsburgh, so it is cold right now. It is cold. Hi, Rachel from Mississippi, New Hampshire. Katie Bryant invited me. Awesome. Welcome. Natalie from Pittsburgh. Hi, Natalie. It is hot. I'll take hot over cold. At least I could go walk in the mornings, right? Okay. All right. So I'm going to kick things off. My name is Melanie Mitro, and I started my Beachbody coaching journey in 2011. And I just want to share with you that I came into Beachbody not really having any idea that there was a business opportunity that was attached to the fitness. So I just had left my full-time job. I have an undergrad in psychology. I have a master's degree in special education. And my husband and we knew that as we were planning for our future and as we were planning for our family, that, I wanted to stay home with my kids. And I went through and got my education, accrued a ton of student loans, but I knew that the end goal was, that was my backup plan in case I actually needed to work, but I really wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And I had this vision of what being a stay-at-home mom would be. Pinterest, like crafts and, going shopping and lunch dates and all of that fun stuff. And I just envisioned being like this super cute mom. And it couldn't actually have been farther from the truth. All right. So I was 5 months postpartum with Bryce, who is my youngest. So he was about, 5 months old, and Landon was 2.5, and we were cooped up in our small 3-bedroom townhouse. We had absolutely no extra money to spend because in order for me to be a stay-at-home mom, that meant that we had to cut every added expense that was in our budget. So there were no play dates. There were no shopping trips. There were no afternoons to the mall or even vacations. And so I was kind of going through an identity crisis where I went from working full time and having a career to being a stay-at-home mom that never struggled with her weight or her body image. And all of a sudden I had this like 30+ pounds that I couldn't lose. I didn't have my career anymore. I was in a house. What I thought was going to be stay-at-home mom life was not glamorous at all. And I had really lost myself in that process. And one afternoon, I was sitting on the couch, and for whatever reason, I made a Facebook post and I said, I'm eating celery and I'm trying to lose weight, right? And it was kind of like out of frustration that I made this Facebook post. And to give you a little context, I was not the woman who ever shared on social media other than weddings, anniversary, births of our kids, when we got a dog, when we went on vacation. So I wasn't somebody that was tech savvy. I actually had less than 100 friends on my Facebook page. I didn't have an Instagram, and I was extremely private. So I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but that was me. And I made this post about celery, and my coach actually reached out to me, and she invited me to join what is called a challenge group. And before I ever responded to her private message, I went over to her Facebook page and I started to go through her posts. And her banner, her timeline banner on Facebook was her transformation. And it was a picture of her and her 2 kids. And all of a sudden, I started to see myself in her before photo. I could see I had that same lack of confidence. I had those same internal struggles. And she looked happy. She looked strong. She had the kind of body that I was wishing for, that I was trying to figure out how to get. And so honestly, without even really thinking twice about it, I responded back and I said, sign me up, tell me what I need to do. And so I enrolled in her challenge group, and I actually borrowed a copy of Insanity, which is a Shaun T program. And I took my laptop down to the basement every afternoon at 2 o'clock with the baby monitor in my hand. I would put the boys down for a nap and I would do my workout. I would press play. And the first workout, and my coach was like, you have to take these before photos, right? So I took my before photos, I did my measurements, and I cried because I just didn't understand how I let myself go. How did I get to that point as somebody that never really struggled? And so as I went through these workouts, right? Every day I was dying. Every day I would lay usually in a puddle of sweat with tears and think to myself, I'm never going to change. I'm never going to get, my body back. I'm going to look like this forever. And I would go into the challenge group. And all of a sudden I had this group of friends, these women that were on their fitness journey too, that I had never met before. And they were cheering me on, and they were posting their sweaty selfies, and they were talking about how their babies didn't sleep through the night, but they pressed play anyways, or how they wanted to eat the chocolate cake, but instead they made Shakeology mug cake instead to curb their cravings. And they were teaching me how to change my mindset, how to change my habits. They taught me how to start getting up earlier and getting my workout in. And I started to just absolutely fall in love with the people in that group and the process that Beachbody had of creating this supportive community. And for me, nutrition was kind of a thing that was my pivotal turning point. I had never really understood what clean eating was or proper portion size. I very much so lived on the fat-free 100-calorie packs, diet Pepsi, smart ones sort of mentality. And that was because that was my upbringing. That's what my mom did. And so when they introduced me to clean eating, it was like a whole new world for me. All of a sudden, I realized I could eat more. I could eat delicious food. And so I started just sharing that naturally with other people. And so about 4 months later, I'd lost about 11 pounds, and I decided to, after my coach invited me about 7 times. She kept saying, Melanie, you would make an amazing coach. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? And I kept going, no. I kept ignoring her messages. I kept saying, it's not for me. I kept saying, I have no idea how to build a business. I don't know how to post on social media. I don't have time for this. And she just kept saying, you would be great. And then one day it just clicked for me. One day I thought, I'm going to start a blog. I'm going to start journaling my food. I'm going to start sharing how I grocery shop and meal plan and how I make this work for me. Because I truly believe that if I didn't know this existed, other moms don't know that either. And so in July of 2011, I signed up to become a Beachbody coach. I started the Committed to Getting Fit blog, and I started blogging my journey. And from that point forward, I never looked back. And I built my Beachbody business in the pockets of mom life, an hour here, an hour there, nap time, weekends, evenings, whenever I could fit it in. I was very focused, very intentional with it, but I started to grow an audience. I started to grow a following. I started to really help other people get fitness results, and I loved it. And over the course of the past 9 years, I'm the oldest coach on this call in terms of years that I've been actually physically coaching. I have been able to build a top coach business, and our team, the Dream Team, has been, and everybody on here, we're all part of the same team. We've actually been the top team in the company 4 years in a row. We have been a top team for the past 8 years now, and I have been able to flip the roles in our household. So my husband no longer works he stays home. I shouldn't say he doesn't work. We do this business together because this is a full-time job, raising our kids and working. And we have been able to pay off our student loan debt. We've been able to save for our kids' college educations. We've been able to take those family vacations and create the life that we love and something that's on our own terms. And I will tell you that it's just absolutely blows my mind that I didn't know that you could build this kind of a business, that you could do something you were passionate about and get to connect with such amazing people. So that's a little bit about me. And I want you to know that I am an introvert all the way. I am the girl that would pull into the garage and actually shut the garage door before I would get out of the car so I didn't have to talk to other people. And now I speak on stages and I talk to people like this all the time. So trust me, if you are introverted, but you are passionate about something, it does not matter. You will find your voice if you work at it. So, all right, I am gonna toss it over to Kendra. She is next. I can't wait for you to hear her story. So Kendra, it is all yours.
Thanks so much, Melanie. And I just want to say to everyone, welcome. I'm so glad that you are on this call tonight with us. One, just hanging out and having community. Hope you're enjoying a cocktail or something fun to drink, but also just seeing what is possible and just being open to the idea of maybe this is right for me. And I'm really excited to share with you that I would say I am the poster child for somebody who probably would not be a great coach. And let me tell you why. When I started coaching, I'm probably by far the oldest person on our team. I'm 45, almost 46. When I started coaching, I was like 40 years old. I had zero social media. So these are the questions we get, like, what if I don't do social media? I had none, like not even an account with no followers or no friends. Like I was not even on. My kids are older, and so I didn't have these like cute little fun videos to do of my little kids doing cool stuff. And I didn't really have a huge physical transformation. So for all intents and purposes, like I wondered, what is it that I really have to share with people? Like, you don't look at me and be like, oh, I want to be like the old lady coach. Like, that's not what anybody wants to do. But here's what is super cool. One of the things that I'm a perfect example though, that coaching is for everyone. And one of the things that I learned is that we all know, especially now, but in my life in particular, that health is so important. Like, we don't need people to tell us that. We don't need studies to show that. Health is really important. And when I was 35, well, actually 34 years old, out of the blue, my husband, super healthy. We had 3 littles. My husband was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And within 10 months, I was a widow with 3 little kids. So like this, my entire world changed. And I tell you that because at the time, I was, like I said, a mom of 3 littles. I was a happy wife. Just, we were having this great life in this really wonderful community. I was a teacher. I had gone to school to be a teacher, gone to graduate school, but I was teaching part-time, and my life was really good. And we were healthy, so we thought. And all of a sudden, every single solitary thing changed in my life. My husband, my partner, was gone. I all of a sudden was responsible for my 3 kids, for paying for everything, for raising them, and then also being present, wanting to be present because they had just lost their father, but also being responsible for providing. And so one of the things that is so powerful about this business, and I just really wanted to share and be super honest and open about this business, is that this business has allowed me to be home with my kids as the parent that is present because my children didn't have a father. And forever, I will be grateful to Beachbody for this opportunity. Now, of course, it doesn't start out that way. So when I first became a coach, of course, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. In fact, I was just doing the workouts. Melanie was my coach. And I did have I lost like 5-10 pounds, and my friends kind of noticed, like, oh, you're kind of firming up. What are you doing? And finally, I kept saying, oh, you got to talk to my coach, Melanie. She's awesome. And finally, Melanie was like, Kendra, why don't you just share this with people and become a coach? That's all coaching is. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, I'm a teacher. I don't know how to sell stuff. And she was like, we're not about selling. We're simply about sharing these healthy options for people, working out from home and nutrition plans and Shakeology and all these great things, which for me as a widow was, and a single mom, it was perfect for me. I could no longer go to the gym, and I couldn't just have those free periods of time to get away and take care of myself, because that's the stage of life I was in. So I want to encourage you that, like, it doesn't just happen right away, but when we continue to just like show up for ourselves, because we know health is important, and then we simply share it with other people, amazing things can happen. And that's exactly what happened with me. And so I continued to teach for a little bit as I started my coaching business. And then I realized, kind of as a single mom, I needed to be able to provide a little more than coaching or than teaching could provide. So I got hired by a company to come and teach their staff. And I, of course, made much more money there than I did at school. But what I found was, and so I began, like Melanie, to work my business in the pockets of time, and your coach will teach you how to do all that. We can build, most of us have built successful businesses while first working other jobs. So I want to encourage you in that. That's a question I get all the time. But what if I have a job? That's okay. I would literally work before I went, and at that point, when I really started to work my business, I was working full-time for a corporation. And so, and I was, like I said, I was getting paid well, but I was gone from my kids so much that that's what tugged at my heartstrings. And as I began to get into this business and I began to help people change their lives, that's when I knew, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do all the time. And so I began to work like a little bit before I went to work. I would work during my lunch hour, and then I would work for like 1 hour after I put my kids to bed. And over time, I just continued to build my business. And the greatest thing is that no matter what business you're in right now, or what stage that you're in right now, or what you are dealing with at home or with your company, this business, when you're beginning, can come right alongside whatever it is that you're doing. The other thing that has been such a lifesaver for me is that, like I said, in those times when the world, life throws you curveballs, the thing that can be consistent is this business. And like I said, I never expected to be a widow and a single mom. That was never part of my plan. And life throws us curveballs. And yet here we are too, all these years later. So my husband died just about 10 years ago. And here we are 10 years later with another kind of major life event that has completely kind of shut down, turned our worlds upside down. I ended up remarrying, which has been such a gift. My husband owns a company, and it's a successful company, but in the midst of this, he's been shut down. And I just think it's really ironic that through life's major changes and curveballs, what's been consistent and what's providing income for our family is Beachbody. And for me to have gone through the process of losing a husband and being totally responsible for my family and responsible for my own health, it is the most amazing feeling to know that because I'm choosing to take care of myself and simply share that with other people, then I am able to provide for my family in a time when so much of the economy is shut down, so many businesses are shut down, and so many things have changed in this world, but we have something that is consistent no matter what is happening around us. And I think that that is a pretty powerful thing that we can all relate to, especially now. And then in the midst of all that, you're surrounded by people who are positive, who don't compete with you, who want the best for you, who want to partner. And our goal is simply to help as many people as possible. You just don't find that work community anyplace else. So I just want to say, I might be somebody, or you might be sitting there thinking, I don't know how to do all this. I don't really have any major dramatic story to tell. I don't know how. I promise you, we have training set up. Our coaches, all of us know how to help you build from the bottom up. And it really can totally transform your life, not just physically, but mentally, with friendships, and of course, financially. So that's kind of my story.
All right, we are tossing it over to Chrysanthi and Kendra. Gosh, such an incredible story. Thank you so much for sharing. It still like feels like, gosh, it just like chokes me up every time. Just watch your transformation and your family and your life. Yes, so I'm just so proud of you. Okay, all right, turn it over. Chrysanthi, you are up next, friend.
All right. Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. No kids will interrupt or anything, but I'm Chrysanthi, like Melanie said, and I'm just so excited to be on here. When we were talking about this call and we were thinking, like, what points do we really want to drive home and and have people take away from this call, I said, I just want people to understand that this is our happy bubble. This is like, a lot of times obviously I know what's going on in the world right now, right? If you don't, like, come on. But there are times I don't know what's going on in the world because I'm in this Beachbody world where I'm like, these are my friends, we're helping people, we've got our clients, we've got our team. Like, it's just a really happy, positive place. So I feel like Beachbody has trained us for these times where you have to socially distance. So I'm excited to be here. I'm so excited to see your faces, to see the faces of my friends. Kendra and I started at the same time, so it's really cool to listen to her story, and I'm having flashbacks of where we were. And honestly, like, we dreamed big, but I don't think we didn't know where we would be. And it's cool to think that, like, you're on this call tonight and you might end up being the same way. So a little bit about me and my story. I signed up as a coach in February of 2014. I honestly had no idea that Beachbody coaching existed. I had seen the workouts. I had bought a few on eBay or Craigslist or wherever. And then I had a friend who told me she was using a coach, and I laughed. I was like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And then I started to look into the coaching opportunity. I would just start to stalk Melanie as my coach. I would stalk her page, and I'm like, what is she doing? And then I would get up in the morning and she'd be up working out. I'd be like, oh, fine. If she's working out, I'll work out. But I wasn't talking to her. I was just watching her. And then finally she started talking about the business opportunity. And at the same time, here I was, a new mom, like literally in my bed in the morning, not wanting to get up. And this lady who I didn't know was motivating me. I was a first-time mom. I was 25 pounds overweight. We were living in a new town. I didn't know anyone. I had like a really great teaching job that I had left because we moved. And I didn't want to go back to teaching. And I wanted to lose the weight. And all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute. Like, everything came together. Like, I could do this program with this lady who's like obviously motivated. I could lose the baby weight and I can make money. And I was like, holy moly, this is crazy. And it literally all just came together. And I actually sent out an email about this yesterday saying, scared money don't make money, because I sat and thought about this business and I was like, well, when I get the next like maternity payment, I'll do it. And my husband was like, what are you doing? Like, just do it. Scared money don't make money. And like, literally, I was like shaking about spending $140, and I was justifying it to myself. And now here I am 6 years later. So I ended up obviously signing up to coach. And I did get a part-time teaching job. So then I started teaching part-time, and I was miserable. And the only thing that got me through those days of teaching part-time, honestly, was Beachbody, because here's what I did. So I signed up to coach. And when I talked to Melanie, my sponsor coach, for the first time on the phone, I remember saying, okay, well, how much money can I actually make? And my first thought was, well, how can I get out of drinking these shakes? Because she was like, you've got to drink these shakes. And I was like, I can make my own freaking shake, lady, you know? So she's like, you've got to drink the shakes. And I was like, okay, I'll try it for a month. And so I said, how much money can I make? She's like, okay, well, if you have 3 customers, and she broke it down for me. Like, you sell a challenge pack, which is, we'll teach you all of this, but she's like, you sell a challenge pack, you get about this much commission. You sell, like, you want 3 people. And I can remember as clear as day, and I still teach my coaches this, sitting down, and I wrote down, like, month 1 person, 2 person, like 2 people, 3 people, this much, this much, this much. Okay. And then in month 2, I'll get 3 more people, this much, this much, this much. And I started to map out the potential, and I started to realize the compound effect. And Melanie was like, okay, and you want to build a team. And at first that sounded crazy to me. And then I started to see that happen. And I can remember sitting and, as a new mom, my husband's working crazy hours. It's winter. I don't know anybody. And I'm like talking to my newborn as I'm changing him. And I'm saying like, oh my gosh, like mommy just sold a challenge pack and we're buying diapers. Like, it was those small little wins. My husband would come home from work and here I am, like, so excited. And he's like, oh, that's awesome, But it just grew and grew and grew. And I ended up, all those days I would go to work literally crying, teaching. And I was like, I need to figure out how I can get out of this. And I sat and I wrote that down. So I wrote down, like, okay, if these are my 3 people, but now I want to make this grow. So now those 3 people, how many more people can I get? Okay, now if I have people joining my team, if I can build this into, like, I called it my empire, Team Fit and Fulfilled Empire, if I could bring people along. And then at the same time that I was getting this momentum for the financial aspect of it, I started to see a difference in me. Like, for the first time, I was reading personal development. For the first time, I started hearing people talk about reading devotions, doing their daily devotions. And I was like, Google, what's a daily devotion? And then I started to, like, build my faith, and all these, I'm getting chills, like, all these amazing things started to happen. I started to build a team, and my team became my second family and my best friends in the world. And it has all just grown and grown and grown, to the point that now I'm a mom of 3. You know, I've been coaching for 6 years in February, which is insane. And this is my, like, I get fired up. I get so fired up about this business. I absolutely love my team and my clients. I love what we do. I'm more excited each and every day about it. I love that, there's one, I love that they get to see me do this. I love that I get to explain to my kids that, like, okay, yes, mommy's gonna get on a call now while you're supposed to be in bed. But I do this so that I am home. And, you know, here we are in this pandemic of times where my husband still goes to work every day, and I'm able to continue my business. I don't miss a beat in my business. Obviously, things have changed a little bit. The way we're running our businesses maybe is a little bit different, but we're still serving people and we're still growing our businesses. And I'm able to do that while staying home with my 3 kids. So this is my daughter, Emmy. She is 4. I have a son, Grayson, who is 6, and a daughter, Kaylee, who is 20 months. So we're busy, you know, we're busy, but it's amazing. I would not trade it for the world. And I just am so excited that we get to share this with you. So hopefully my talking about how I broke down those goals and how, you know, no matter where you are, maybe you're listening and you're like, listen, I just want to pay for like my extra acai bowl every month so my husband doesn't yell at me for it. Or maybe you're like, you know what? I'm a newly single mom and now I want to be the boss. Like, I want to have the money to take care of the bills and not have to worry about like anything else. Wherever you are, you can strategize your business to reach those goals. Like, the sky is the limit. And I get fired up to think there literally is no limit. You can work it as little or as much as you want. You can go as big or as small as you want, whatever works for you. And that can always change. But I'm going to close off and pass it on to somebody else. But before I do that, I just want to say this. You know, when I went and scrolled social media back in 2013, 14, and found this girl from Pittsburgh who I never would have known otherwise, I know that there was a reason that I was put on this path and that she was put there. And I know that there was a reason that I listened to a call like this. And I know that there's a reason that every single one of the women on here who I've become friends with and I have crossed paths. And it's so cool to see that happen. So I want you, when you get off this call tonight, before you think about your objection or why this won't work or why that you won't be good at this, I want you to stop and I want you to think, why was I here tonight? Or if you're listening to the recording, why did you have to listen to this? What part of this was meant for you? Because I guarantee you there's something or someone on this call that is here for a reason for you. So I want you to dig into that. And with that, I'm going to pass it along and I'll talk to you guys later.
Awesome. Thank you, Chrysanthi. I'm so glad you stumbled upon me so many years ago. It's like, I love the friendships that we create that legit we would not know people otherwise. And I think that is just the coolest part of the whole thing is you just make such incredible friends in this journey. So I am passing it off to Ashley. Ashley is next.
All right. Good evening. So I am Ashley. I'm a mom of 2 girls, Courtney, who is 12, and Caroline is 7. We live in Lexington, Kentucky, and have a 7-month-old puppy, little labradoodle named Lacey, who is crazy. And then I have my husband, who's also a Matt, and I've been a coach for 6 years. Caroline was almost 2, and I was still trying to lose like the last 15 to 20 pounds. My clothes were not fitting well. I was frustrated, especially with dresses and slacks not fitting the best. I work full time at the University of Kentucky, and it was just frustrating that I couldn't get back into the clothes that I wore before having my girls. And I just wanted my body back, but I thought that that was a sacrifice that I had made for being a mom. And I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but I just thought that my body wouldn't change back. I thought that's just the way that it was going to be. I didn't have time to go to the gym. I loved the gym. I actually worked at a gym through college, but once I had the girls, I was kind of walking outside every now and then. I would try to get to the gym a few times. I actually did some home workouts. But I never did like a full program from start to finish and with a calendar. So one day I was sitting at the pool scrolling through Facebook, And I saw a friend from high school. I actually cheered with her in high school, and she posted her before and after picture. And I was like, oh my gosh, what has she done? This is incredible. So I sent her a message and I asked her what she did. And she gave me the information, asked me if I wanted to join this online group, which I had no idea what she was talking about. So being the researcher kind of person that I am, I went and researched the program. I had to do all kinds of research about what was Shakeology and what was in Shakeology. And then she kept asking me, do you want to join this? Do you want to join this? And I was like, okay, I'll just go on and join it. It's a 21-day program. If I don't like it, I can always return it and get my money back. So I did the 3-week program. I went all in doing the workouts every day. I was kind of figuring out the meal plan as I went along. I always thought I ate healthy. My mom was actually a home economist, so she taught nutrition as I was growing up. And I saw all about the food pyramid and stuff growing up, but I thought, that's crazy. People eating that many fruits and vegetables, nobody does that. But as I saw this meal plan, I was like, okay, maybe I really need to do this. And so as the weeks went on, I started to incorporate the meal plan a little bit more. And even though I didn't completely do it that first 3 weeks, I still lost 7 pounds in the first 3 weeks, just doing the workouts. And I loved the program. So I didn't return it. And she messaged me at the end of that program and said, okay, well, do you want to become a coach now? And I was like, no, I don't really have time to be a coach. My plate's full. I work full time. I don't have time to do those groups. I don't want to host those. And she's like, well, you can just be a coach and get the discount. And I was like, well, I don't want to pay full price. So that might sound like something that I would do. So I became a coach. She told me I could be like an ambassador and not even have to host the groups. So I joined another group with Melanie as the coach, and I went through it, lost another 7 pounds, and I was back at the pool. And I swear 4 people came up to me over a weekend and asked me what I was doing, said they could tell a difference in my body, a difference in my confidence, and how I walked around the pool. And they were like, you've got to tell me what you're doing, and you've got to help me do it too. And I was like, I can't help 4 people individually. I'm going to have to create one of those groups. So I created a group, and I've been creating groups since. I actually find that the groups help me to stay more accountable to my workouts and my nutrition. I still get the discount. And then I've also created an income. So being a coach now pays for my Shakeology and all the other things that I incorporate into my meal plan, the beach bars that I eat after lunch each day. And then the income also pays for all those activities. My girls love to dance. Caroline is in soccer, and so we've got soccer fees. And then Courtney's on the middle school dance team, and so they had a trip to Disney in January, and my Beachbody income actually paid for our trip to Disney. So, you know, even though I thought my plate was full and I couldn't do coaching, I actually learned to also manage my time better because of Beachbody. The coaches and trainings and stuff are always recommending personal development and books and podcasts. And I kind of had that in my full-time job too, but I didn't really figure out what Audible was until Beachbody. And I've heard from so many best-selling authors through in-person and online meetings. I actually had a memory post from Facebook pop up. It was just like 2 days ago that was like, I figured out this new thing. It's called Zoom. And now everybody knows what Zoom is. But I also found my morning routine by listening to several of the books, a combination of Morning Miracle, the 5-second rule, and listening to other books and podcasts. I listen now to them when I'm in the shower, when I'm washing dishes, or when I'm folding clothes. And I love that me time that I get through my morning routine. I get up at 5:05, I do my journaling, I write my gratitude statements, I go downstairs and I do my workout, whether it's 30 or 40 minutes. My girls are now passing my office, making faces at me. But I also get on Zoom with one of my best friends now, who's actually on the call, Sarah Whitney. And we only live 30 minutes apart, but it's crazy that Beachbody is what introduced us. A mutual friend told her that she should start following me. And so she followed me for over a year before I even knew she was following me, and said she wanted to join my accountability group. And now we are best friends. We talk daily. We've got to travel to the Dominican Republic and Mexico thanks to Beachbody and the trips that we've earned. And so many other people that I've met, like we've said, here in online and through the communities, going to Nashville and Indy with Brandy and Sandy and so many others of you. I just couldn't imagine not having Beachbody in my life. Oh, you're on mute.
I'm muted and I'm talking. Thank goodness Zoom says like you are muted when you start talking and it warns you. But I think that it's cool to say, like, to see that you were like, I have no interest in doing this and how this has changed, but also like the flexibility and the no stress of not having to worry about being able to pay for that trip to Disney or the extra things. It just is like, I find that coaching does so many different things for so many different people, whether it is creating a full-time income, a supplemental income, helping to give them just a positive mindset or a community that they didn't have before. And so I feel like each one of us kind of come with this different background, this different story, this different need that we're trying to fill, but then we start to create this common bond between all of us, right? Of how our lives are being transformed. And I just like want, as you guys are listening, like thinking about, what could the need be? What Chrysanthi said, what is it? What did I come here for today? How is Beachbody going to fill that need, that void, that desire for me to help me really step into my purpose, my passion to live my fullest life? And I guarantee every one of us is going to be like, we had no idea when we started what this was going to turn into, but we sort of just had that like gut feeling of I'm going to take this leap of faith and I'm going to see where this goes, right? So cool. All right, let's turn it over to Kelly. Love it. Kelly from Indiana. Where are you, my friend?
Hey, can you guys
Hey there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So yes, I am from West Lafayette, Indiana, and I have my husband Jake, who's actually on this call now as a coach. So I'll tell you guys more about that later. And then we have two kiddos. We have Kinsley Rose, who is 5, and Graham, he just turned 3. And so I work as a radiology tech, as a veterinary technologist here at Purdue University. And I never thought I would be doing this. I mean, like we said, every one of us is going to tell you we never thought that this was so likely for us, but it just has blessed our family in so many ways over the years. And I'm so honored to get to talk to you guys and to just share that story and hopefully speak to one of you guys on why you can do this, why you can put those fears aside, because I had every one of those fears. So I actually started in a challenge group first. My coach at the time, she was actually one of my former students at the university. And so she invited me to a group, and I was on Facebook when I was up one late night nursing Kinsley, and I liked her post, and she messaged me, and I thought, oh my God, what did I do? Like, I don't want to join this group, but I did, and I fell in love with the positive community. I got results, obviously. I did the programs, the nutrition, and everything. But I was convinced I wasn't going to start coaching. Even though I was watching everybody and I was so curious, I just really thought, I don't have the time. I'm a new mom. I have a baby. I work a full-time job. Just all of the things that could possibly be going through your head. Really scared I wouldn't be successful. Really scared I would be judged. And I said no for a whole year to her. She asked me so many times, and I was like, no, I'm just really happy in the groups, doing my thing. Like, I just want to work on me. And then I started thinking about it, and I started talking to Jake about it more. And I was like, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. It's helped me tremendously. Like, why would I not want to share this with other people? Like, surely there's someone out there like me who this could benefit from. And yet I was still kind of holding on to those selfish thoughts of, I'm too scared of what's going to happen, or, what people will think. And so, I was kind of reaching a point in my career in radiology there that I always loved my job. I loved it so much, and I've been there for 13 years. But I was to a point where I went back after maternity leave, and things were changing at work, and I was just really becoming this angry, bitter person. And I hate admitting that out loud, but it's part of my story. But I've just always felt like I've really been a positive person my whole life. And I went back after maternity leave and just the job had changed, my lifestyle had changed, and I would drive away early in the morning when it was dark, and I would come home late at night when it was dark. I was on call, I was working weekends, and I was pissed. And I started becoming just bitter. Even though I had the challenge groups, like my lifestyle just changed, my attitude changed, and the challenge groups were honestly like the positive part of my life. Like Krisanti said, they were my positive bubble, and I looked forward to being in them. And I heard this quote, and I was driving to work one day, and it said, like, are the people you're surrounding yourself with and the things you're doing taking you closer to God or farther away from him? And that just really was my moment where I stopped, and I was like, I love this job, and that's always been important to me, but I'm in a new phase of my life. And just because my passions are changing and my lifestyle's changing, like, that's okay, but I got to go towards what's going to make me be a better person. And I can possibly help other people do that same thing too. And so I said yes to coaching. And so I remember sitting on our couch, and Jake was like, just do it. You talk about it all the time. Like, you know, you were so curious, just jump into it. And so I did. And I built the business, still working full time there at the university, in pockets of time, like the other girls have said. Like, I still had a little baby. Kinsley was about a year old at the time. I worked it in around going to work early mornings, 15 minutes at lunch if I got a lunch, and then in the evenings after the kiddos went to bed, and just fell in love with it. Honestly, my job that I have as a vet tech was awesome, but I kind of tapped out. Like, I couldn't, no matter how hard I worked, I couldn't go any farther. And I loved the job, but it feels good to be recognized for what you do and know that when you put in a lot of work, you can actually go farther. And so that's really exciting for me in this job, because I'm very goal driven. I love working and seeing how I can help other people and how I can progress, and knowing that the harder I work, the more it's going to actually help my family. Whereas my other job, no matter how many times I go in at 2 a.m. when I get called in, or how many times I'm there on the weekend, my paycheck is the same. And so I jumped into this, and I went all in. I started looking at other coaches thinking, okay, that girl went part-time. Maybe I could just do part-time, and dreaming a little bit bigger. And I just kept putting one foot in front of the other, with my sole purpose on sharing my journey and how it changed my mindset, and, you know, physical health too, but mainly mental health. And amazing things just started happening. So actually, it's been 2 years now since I've been working part-time at the hospital. When I was coaching, I got pregnant with our son, and did that, you know, the business changed again. I worked in different pockets of time, and then had a second baby and went back to work, and found myself kind of in the same position again, where I was like crying, driving to work. And thank God, bless Jake, for getting the kids ready and taking them to school and doing everything for me. And I was just really sad that that wasn't me. Like, I wanted to be the one picking out their clothes for school and being there for moments, and I couldn't do that. And so I took the leap of faith and went part-time, and I've been doing that for 2 years. And so, you know, we talk about how Beachbody's been there for us through all these different crazy periods of life, and that's definitely how it was for me. You know, it helped me go part-time so I could have that mental health and more presence with my family. And then Jake lost his job unexpectedly last July. And that was like, our worlds were flipped upside down, and we thought, oh my God, what are we going to do? But we weren't as panicked as we probably should have been, because we knew we had Beachbody. And it was at that point that we said, you know what, we can make the choice. Like, we love this company. We love what it stands for. And we made the decision that Jake actually found a different job, and he went back part-time so that he could be more present here at home too. And then he started coaching as well. And so I'm so excited to see the ripple effect of how this can help so many people in your life with their physical health, with their mental health, finances. Like, it's amazing. So, like, whatever it is that's holding you back, I can guarantee you I've had that same fear. And every single time I've been proven wrong. And so sometimes you just got to take that leap and know that it's leading. Like, if you're here and it's on your heart for a reason, it's probably a good inkling that you should maybe talk to the person who invited you just a little bit more and see what could happen for you too.
Sorry. It took me a minute there. Kelly, I just watching the whole transformation, it has been cool. And just to see that Jake is now like alongside of you and you guys are doing this together, which definitely was not something you would have ever thought possible. So, and like all of these ladies have just become like my best friends. And I love just like seeing your faces and getting to hang out, even if we can't physically be in the same room right now. So, okay. So Anita is bringing it in, and then we're going to close us out. You guys thank you so much. Again, if you have questions as we're going through this tonight, drop it in the comments. We're going to go through and answer some questions here at the end. So Anita, it is all you, girlfriend.
Hi, everybody. So I'm Anita, and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I actually have a 3-year-old daughter who is making lots of noise upstairs. I've got like concerned looks on my face with my husband. But my coaching story, just to kind of go back, it's so far. Like, I'm so inspired by all these women. I've heard all of their stories before too, and it's just so cool just to be a part of this community. I have to say that first, because that's a big part of my why and why I became a coach. And so I like had a background in working in gyms, like in the accounting area, which I'm not good at math, so I don't know why I did that. But I started way back then, and so I thought I was like fit. I thought I knew how to do gym stuff. And then I just kind of fell out of the routine of doing that, as life changes. And then I did P90X at one point, and I kind of did it and I liked it, but I then went back to the gyms again. And so it got to the point when, it was in 2014 where I had a serious boxed wine and mac and cheese problem. I remember I finished my master's degree in education, and I got my national board certification. I was a high school English teacher for 10 years before I left the classroom. And I, at that point, didn't know what to do with myself. So I waited until like 4 o'clock every day and drank wine and ate food. And it was just like, I was like, this is a spiral, this is bad, but I didn't know what else to do. And at that same time, I saw this girl on my Facebook feed. I'm a total introvert. I did not like or comment on any of her stuff, but I saw her showing up. She was a fellow teacher. And so I knew who she was. And then she sent me a message and I was like, I'm going to delete my Facebook. Excuse me. And it scared me so much. But she sent me a couple of different messages. I never responded because I was terrified. But it just stayed in the back of my mind. And I watched her. And I watched her for, I think it was like 8 months. And then my husband and I went on a snowboarding trip that December. And I barely fit in my snowboarding clothes, which was just like horrible for me. Like I'm lucky, I guess, that my weight doesn't fluctuate a whole lot, but that was the first time in my life since I was like a junior in high school, I think, where I really changed. And I just felt so defeated. And I kept telling my husband, Matt, another Matt, that I needed to do something and go back to those home workouts. And we had a gym membership and it wasn't cheap. And I felt guilty for that. And he was like, just do it. Just do it. So we came back, I messaged her. I emailed her even. I wouldn't even message her through Facebook. And I was just terrified. And she set me up. I started with PIO. I did it in my living room. And I just committed to coming home from teaching every day, doing my workout, and learning about clean eating because I had no idea what it was. And so within like 2 months, I lost, I don't even remember, it was like 8 pounds or something, but I was like, I didn't even know that I had that much weight to lose. And I was feeling really good. I was more positive. It was a personal development that I never did before. And I listened to Shalene Johnson all the time, and she's just so jazzy. And I loved PIO. And so then I did that. Then I moved on to Shalene Extreme. But when I did that, I was like, hey, what's a cheaper way to do this? My husband's an accountant and he's very frugal. And so she offered me the discount coaching or the coaching opportunity. And my husband's like, nope, that's a pyramid scheme. That's like, he just spewed all of these things that I hear all the time from other people because you just don't know, and it's changed a lot in the last 5 years, just like what network marketing looks like and the prevalence of it, which is really cool. But back then, it was a big no. I had to Google what a pyramid scheme was because I had no idea. What I did though, we were sitting on our couch upstairs. I signed up sitting on the couch next to him on my laptop, and I was like, I'm going to show you. And so I did it, right? And so my goal at the beginning was just to kind of get the discount. And I was like, maybe I could just pay for my products. Just to, again, kind of like push it in my husband's face. Like, this is it. Like, this is working. And so I really liked the products. I just started sharing. I got over the fear of not being social on social media and just realized that, I was a teacher for 10 years, or at that point, I think it was like 7 or 8. And I knew too that I had been looking for an out from teaching. I liked teaching, but I also liked being a student, and I liked having students who actually wanted to learn. And I taught seniors, which, and freshmen. So it was very challenging. And as Kelly was saying, like, I just got stuck with my pay raises, no matter how hard I worked, because I worked so hard. I couldn't really make a whole lot more money. And so again, with my husband, finances, like, that's always a thing. And I like to pull my own weight. And so that's where, for me, as my coaching journey kind of has gone through, I have, I still eat mac and cheese and box wine, and that's okay, but just not in excess, and I have control over it. It's just like learning, like, you learn so much about yourself. And like my husband and our relationship is so much better. I had a child in between there, and my goal before I had her was that I wouldn't have to go back to teaching. And so we looked at it, and we looked at my paychecks, and it was enough to be able to leave the classroom. And I was ecstatic, and just not having that pressure of having to go back and teaching composition class. I was working like 70 hours a week as a high school English teacher. And so kind of coming back from that, like, gosh, I've proved him wrong, and now he's like my biggest supporter. It's just really cool how that has all shifted so much. We were actually talking the other day, and he was doing our taxes, and was just like, Anita, you gave yourself a 37% raise last year. And I was like, that's pretty cool. After getting about a 3% raise as a teacher every year, which was frustrating. Like, I know a lot of you guys probably feel that same thing with you have a full-time job or part-time, that just sometimes that money isn't there, and my satisfaction wasn't there. I wasn't recognized. So I love the recognition that Beachbody provides too, because that helps give me goals to do too. As I said, as a teacher, I ran out of goals to do and milestones. And so Beachbody really does have all of this embedded to help support you no matter what your learning style is and what your success style is. And it's just really awesome. I've touched on a lot of different things, but one part that I really want to talk about, and I kind of skated over, was the fact that I didn't post on social media a lot. And I thought that I was just Anita, and I like food. I really love going out to restaurants, like good restaurants. If you can't do that right now, it's like, but I love to cook, and I don't like cooking like simple meals. I like complexity, and I like all this stuff. I was like, people aren't going to want to hear this, but I started just talking about it, and I cuss a lot, and I do that in my posts and stuff, and that's what I do. And I felt like I needed to edit myself at first, but the more that I just shared myself, and like the imperfect, the cussing girl who I have a daughter, and I never expected to have a daughter. We didn't find out her gender beforehand. It's just like we wear princess dresses and have parties all the time, and it's so weird. But I'm so happy just to be able to be here and in it, and being able to share that just my life through social media, and inspire other people by doing what I do, by using the products that I know and love, by talking about this opportunity that has changed my life and changed so many others, that I never once feel like I'm a huge salesperson, or that I am pushing a product or doing any of that. It's just me sharing the things that I love in my life, whether it's the type of boxed mac and cheese, or the type of boxed wine, or the delicious shake I drink every single day, and I don't feel bad about that. And it's become like this natural progression. So that is Anita. So I was just looking at the comments over here. I miss Mexican food. I know, right? We just had Taco Wednesday today.
I'm like, oh, as they were saying, I miss Mexican. I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally miss the margaritas at Mad Mex, and I really could go for some good guac. God, I would just love to sit in a restaurant and not at my kitchen table right now. Oh, well, thank you so much, Anita. My gosh. Okay, so you heard a wide variety, right, of different people's stories, different backgrounds. And this is like a very tiny, even as I look around, like, I know Amber, she works in corporate, I know Megan, she was a CPA. I know, like, I'm just looking around at all these women and men that come from different backgrounds and walk into Beachbody and, truly make an impact. And so it's really cool that we give you this platform. So just a couple of really quick just things that I saw in the comments. If you guys have comments too, please ask. Somebody asked about compensation plan. So let me just quickly explain that to you. It's always the best topic to talk about, right? Because it's always the most complicated one. But there, when you become a coach, right? So I'm going to kind of do two things at once. When you enroll as a coach, you sign up with a challenge pack is what we call it. So there are two kinds of challenge packs. There is one for people that already have a Beachbody On-Demand subscription. That's called a completion pack. Then there's another one for people that do not have a Beachbody On-Demand subscription. That is a challenge pack. And when you sign up to become a coach, you get to build your own challenge pack. So if you want our superfood Shakeology, which we recommend just because that is one of our products that we recommend to everybody. It's something I've drank for 9 years. It's my daily multivitamin. It really does fill the gaps in your nutrition. But we also have packages that include the performance line, which is a pre-workout energize, it's a post-workout recover, and there's one that combines all the things together and additional nutrition plan. So when you sign up with that initial kit, it gives you access to the tools and the things you're going to recommend to other people, and you get your initial sign-up fee waived. That $40 is waived when you enroll, and so that is going to get you in the door. From that point forward, from the minute you enroll as a coach, you have the ability to start earning an income. You get paid a commission on everything that people buy from your website. So you don't have to keep X amount of stock at your house. You don't have to ship things out. You're not responsible for that, right? Your website that you will get when you become a coach, you have a unique link that's associated with you. So when people order from your site, it goes to their house. You get paid a commission on that. Our challenge packs and completion packs have like a flat, we call it a challenge pack bonus. And then all of our products, every single supplement, pre-workout, post-workout, our Shakeology, our refreshes, the cleanse that we have, all of the things have a 25% commission that are attached with that. So you can immediately start recommending this to your friends and family. You can immediately start going through the training and start inviting other people, and we can help you set up an accountability group and get you running. So if you are saying to yourself, like Krisanti said, I have a goal. This is how much money I need to make right now. You can do that immediately. So your first sort of level is your commissions. And then secondly, you hear a lot of us talk about team and building a team and growing an organization. And so that means that as you begin to invite other people to do the business with you, right? So a lot of times it's like, oh my gosh, like, you love health and fitness. Have you ever considered what I'm doing? Or I know you're looking for some extra income. Do you want to do this with me? As you begin to build a team of coaches that is actually doing what you do, you can start earning some residual income off of that as well. All right. But you really want to think about it like first tier, second tier. First is my commissions. That's immediate money. Next is bringing like people onto my team as they are enrolling people. Then we're starting to create some income. And then we also, as your business grows, what we call this residual income, your cap is raised. The amount of money you earn per cycle gets a little bit larger. And if you really want, if you're a numbers person and you want to look at it, just message the person that invited you here. We can send you an overview of our compensation plan. That's a very simple, easy, downloadable PDF that we can share with you. But we also have quarterly bonuses. We also have trips that you can earn. So sadly, they had to cancel our rewards trip this year, but we always get to vacation together, and we earn that by helping other people and reaching certain benchmarks along the way. So lots of other bonuses as well. So that's that's like a quick overview of the compensation plan. And then I also saw somebody say, like, how do you actually explain it to somebody? Cost of the challenge pack. So Sabina, I believe, that's your name? Sabina Awesome Sauce. Actually, love your name. That is fabulous, girlfriend. Okay, so it depends. Every package is different. So our brand new program that just launched, like our base Shakeology and 10 rounds challenge pack, it's 130. Am I right in saying that? Am I right? Or is that the completion kit? I can't remember off the top of my head. Completion kit's 130. I think it's I know Megan's typing it. She knows it. She's on it. 130 is the completion. Challenge pack is 160. If that includes your Beachbody On Demand. There we go. Yes. So, and then they're all tiered differently. So you want to talk to the person that invited you here because they will walk you through that. And your challenge pack, it actually gives you a full year of Beachbody On Demand, every single one of our fitness programs, our nutrition plans that go with the programs. It gives you access to our challenge groups, the supplements, it pays for your sign-up fee, and then you also get a 25% discount off of everything that you purchase from this point forward. All right, so that's your initial investment. And the way that I've always explained it is, think about if you were going to start a business, right? If you were going to open up, I'll use my brother-in-law as an example. He just started an Anytime Fitness, right? He had to rent the space, build it out, right? He had to pay for that. He had to take a loan. He had to get all the equipment. He had to hire the people. He had to get insurance. He had to staff the office. And so there was this huge investment, but there was no guarantee of success. And he is doing the exact same thing that I do, just not in a brick and mortar space. And I don't have any overhead. And I get to determine how fast my business grows based on my work ethic. And so I always look at it that way. Like, Beachbody is your own little franchise. You get to add your spin. You don't have the overhead, and the sky is the limit of what you can create. All right. And then I will also say too, as far as like, how do you explain that it's not a pyramid scheme? Most people don't actually know what a pyramid scheme is. That is just their initial gut reaction because they're like, oh, you're going to do that thing? That's a pyramid scheme. So challenge people, right? And just say, like, do you know what a pyramid scheme is? And like, I always throw it back, but I do my research. Who else said it? Somebody else said it too. They had to go Google it. So did I, Ashley. Kendra, I saw you raise your hand too. I Googled it because somebody did that to me and I was like, I love Beachbody. I love their products. I love their programs. What do you mean that I'm in a pyramid scheme? I was like, you're freaking crazy, right? And so when I did my research, right, and even to explain it, if there is no transaction of goods and services. So for example, if I was like, Chrysanthi, you're going to sign up, and Megan and Ashley and Kendra, and I don't care if you buy the product. I don't even care if you do Beachbody. You could just like give away your Shakeology. Like, I only make money when you sign up and I don't care what you do. That's a pyramid scheme. All right. When you are actually matching people up with a product in a program, you are helping them get results. There's a transaction of goods and services. That's a legit business. That is just network marketing. It's direct sales. It is peer-to-peer support. It is me helping you, you helping the next person, and it is, helping people to get results, right? And so it's legit. We are backed by and now it's just gone out of my head, FDA, FTC. Regulates us and all network marketing companies, and they watch us and what we do to make sure we're following the rules and we're not doing things that would be schemy or under the rug or that we're falsely giving people information, right? So as far as, Beachbody goes, I've always believed that and I truly believe this to my core, that the most successful coaches are the ones that believe in the products, that are proof that the products work, that go out there and share it passionately. And when your passion comes through, you will be successful, and we'll teach you all those ways to navigate that through our coach trainings and our mentorship and our calls. And I hope you get that vibe from our team, that we truly care about your success. And we absolutely love what we get to do every single day. Yes, if you need that compensation plan video or PDF, yes, just definitely send a message. You can send me, can't wait to chat tomorrow, Sue. Yeah, so if maybe you want to send that to Tracy or whatever, so just let me know, or send me an email and I'll send it, whatever. Tracy, I can send it to you, not a problem. If you just send me a message after this call, I can get it to you, okay? All right, so the next step, you guys, is I'm just going to go back to what Chrysanthi said. I'm going to go back to, like, why did you show up here? What's the void? What is the need? What is the reason? And every one of us, when we decided to press submit on that coach sign up, we were nervous. We were like, what the heck are we doing? Right? We were kind of little like, this is nothing I've ever done before. But I truly believe that every single, like, one door closes because another opportunity we're faced with. And right now we're kind of in the midst of this wild time, right? And maybe you would have never even explored Beachbody if it wasn't for maybe your kids being home, or your hours being cut, or your job, you being let go from your job. Or maybe you just all of a sudden realize, like, wow, life is short and I really need to do what I love. And maybe you're on this call and you're like, I'm surrounded by awful people every day. The people I work with, they're cutthroat, they're mean, they don't love their jobs, they're soul sucking. And you're like, gosh, if I could work with an amazing, incredible group of individuals that actually make me better, why wouldn't I? And so part of what we're asking you to do is trust us. We're asking you to trust us and take that leap of faith, but we're also equally saying, like, will you meet us halfway? We're willing to give you the tools. We're willing to teach you. We're willing to take you under our wing and show you how to build this incredible business and platform. But we're just asking that you're willing to do the work and you're willing to let us pour into you and love you and show you the direction to building success. All right. So you guys, what you want to do next is reach out to the person that invited you here. You will send out this recording. You can absolutely go back and re-listen, but get signed up, become a part of our team. We are kicking off our new coach mentorships. We are accepting new people to our team. So we hope that you are one of them, and we can't wait to welcome you. And even this weekend, we have a huge super weekend event that we're doing. So that can be your like first official hangout with the large team. So we hope to see you guys there. All right. Okay, you guys have a wonderful evening, and we will see you guys soon. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks, ladies. Cheers. I feel like we should take a quick picture. Who's still on? Did you guys leave? Don't leave me. Okay. Hold up. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Watch this. This is going to be great. I'm going to try to do this with one hand. Oh, I can't. Yes, I can. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. All right, guys. Have a good night. I will see you soon. Bye, everybody.